board.
How's that?
There we go. All right, good evening, everyone here on the West Coast and Central Mountain over to Eastern Time. Good late night, maybe in the UK and Europe, and good morning in Australia and Philippines. It's so wonderful to have you all here. I'm really excited because, as you know, Emulin has become extremely popular, and also the 24/7, and now we're waiting for 24/7 to arrive again because it's been such a great hit, all of it. And that's why we're doing all of these informative sessions so that you can feel confident talking about it, because it is very simple, especially Emulin, because Emulin just means, you know, reversing inflammation. That's really what we're doing. We're managing carbs and sugars, and we're reversing inflammation. So it's really an incredible time of growth for everyone. And I want you to feel confident that the company is really watching what's going on, and they are going to be, you know, very on top of things. So you're not going to have to worry about it at all. It's going to be all handled. We're really confident about how Dave Jordan is rolling this out, and we're so excited for all of you. So I just don't want you to get into that place of not understanding that this is, you know, a brand new thing for Valentus, and we are a big family, and we've got a lot of work to do in this area, so we have to do it properly, and that's exactly how Dave and Joyce Jordan are doing it, and it's going to be an exciting time for you and all of your teams all over the world. So this is really what I wanted to share with you before I bring Dr. Ahrens on, and then we're going to have him talk about, you know, the value of Emulin in your life and why you absolutely need it. And it's not a question of should I take it, shouldn't I take it, who needs to take it. Absolutely everyone needs Emulin, and he's going to share with you some information on why that is a fact. And you know, when you look at other vitamins, you know they're necessary in your diet, and you certainly know that, you know, better food is way better for your body than junk food. So, you know, Emulin is just taking care of all those bad moves that we may make, and it's those incredible missing link you know, flavonoids that you need in your body. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Ahrens. Many of you know him. For those who don't, he has recently joined the Valentus family with his incredible experience and background in nutrition and agriculture and in keeping people and moving towards a healthier, enhanced life all over the world. And we're just so blessed to have him with us. And with that, Dr. Ahrens, I'm going to ask you to take over.
Well, thank you very much, Jana. Thank you very much for that introduction. I'm really glad to be here because every week things are getting better. So many of you know about Emulin, and some may not have heard about it before. My research group has discovered vitamin-like compound that we've named Emulin. And we found out that it is necessary, as Jana said, completely necessary to process sugars in your body. And without Emulin, your body goes haywire with these sugars. It's very similar to needing vitamin D to process calcium in your body. Very similar. You can take a lot of calcium, but unless you have enough vitamin D in your body will not process it, and your bones will become brittle. So therefore, most milk is sold with vitamin D added. And who knows, maybe one day food will have Emulin added. But it is a vitamin-like compound. I have to say vitamin-like instead of just calling it a vitamin, because the health authorities around the world changed the rules a couple of years ago that said we're not going to discover any new vitamins. And if you do, you'll have to just market them as a supplement. And that's what we're doing. We have found a vitamin. For all intents and purposes, it is a vitamin. It does not cure diseases, even though you've heard that people who have arthritis, they're getting up out of wheelchairs, they're not needing heart surgery, and asthma's going away, psoriasis going away, and then people healing from wounds, and Parkinson's, and on and on, including IBS and Crohn's. Well, how can it do all these things? Well, it's just managing your inflammation. It manages the sugar in your body, and it manages your inflammatory system, your own immune system. And without this vitamin-like compound, your immune system goes haywire. It starts attacking your own body, and two things happen from that. Either you get further diseases, such as diabetes, which is an inflammatory mediated disease, or psoriasis, which is an autoimmune disease, or you'll have your wounds and the damages that you have just from living. They take twice as long to heal. You know, broken bones are a really good example. When you break your bone, your inflammatory system goes into overdrive, and it tries to clean up the wound, and it starts to knit the bones back together. And this is a process that should take 6 weeks, but it takes usually 3 to 6 months because we don't have enough emulin in our bodies. And we've got people right here in our group that have had fractures, and the doctor says, well, it's going to take 6 months, 4 to 6 months. And instead, it just takes a matter of weeks, 6 weeks. We've got people that get burns, severe burns. And in 1 week, the burn's gone. I know that sounds crazy, but this is what humans, us, mammals, this is what we should be living in a normal life. We shouldn't have all kinds of colds all the year long. You know, 4 colds and 2 sets of flu, and people say, oh, that's just normal. Or they get up out of chairs and they ache and they groan. Oh, I mean, I go to these conferences, and after I'm over, people get up, and all you can hear across the auditorium is people saying, because you sat down for an hour. That's not normal, but that's normal without emulin. So everybody needs emulin. And if you have psoriasis or arthritis, what you need is a double dose of emulin until you get better, and then go back to a lower regular dose. Everybody needs emulin every day, just like vitamin C and vitamin D. And this is an amazing discovery that my team made. I didn't make it. I'm just the guy that signs the paychecks. But this team made this amazing discovery, and we came to Valentus because we needed to get the story out. An MLM, a multi-level marketing or a network marketing company, is the perfect way to do this, because you can tell people of your own experience and what it did to your sister and your brother-in-law and your mother and your children. You know, people are saying, well, my child is autistic, and they took Emulin, and now they're talking and interacting with people. That's just tremendous. Or I had diabetes, and now I'm no longer diabetic. Or I was obese, and now, I've lost 30, 50 pounds. It's because you have your systems now under control. So people say, well, my husband has a heart condition. Should he take Emulin? The first thing I say is, yes, everybody needs to take Emulin. Everybody. Secondly, I say yes, in particular, because most heart conditions are caused by some type of an inflammatory condition. Problems with cholesterol. The underlying problem is inflammation. So you take Emulin and your cholesterol lowers. Emulin did not lower the cholesterol. Emulin got rid of the inflammation, and your body then started making the right amount of cholesterol. So everybody, it's great. And also, we're not going to say that we treat cancer. We're not going to treat any disease, but we've seen people that have gone in for cancer treatment, and the cancer cell counts drop. Why? Well, because your body is an amazing miracle factory. And if you give it the things it needs, it can just about heal itself in every situation. So back to you.
Thank you. So Dr. Ahrens, how would 24/7 add to Emulin? And we've had a lot of questions today on the 24/7 page. People are wondering, how long they should take it. They see that, you know, they should talk to their doctor after 4 weeks, and we know that this is just a law that is a requirement. So if you could just explain what 24/7 does in addition to the Emulin, and then we have a few other questions I'd like to ask you.
All right. Well, the first thing I'll say is who needs Emulin? Everybody. So take Emulin, and let's assume you're on Emulin. But a few months ago, Dave Jordan came to me and said, can you make a weight loss product that will complement our coffee for people that might not want to drink coffee? I want a product that will complement the coffee and also work on its own. And I said, sure, Dave, we can do that. So then I went back to the laboratory and said to my guys, well, what are we going to do? Well, we understand physiology quite well. We're just biochemists and physiologists. And we looked at why people were carrying too much weight. Nobody says, oh, I want to be 50 pounds overweight. Who says that? Well, then why don't they lose weight? Because it's difficult. Your body is fighting you all the time. The world fights you. Let me give you an example. So most all of us live in some form of stress one way or another. We're under stress from our jobs. We're also under stress from the environment, sitting in fluorescent lights. That also causes stress. Noise causes stress. You know, can't all, like me, live on the beach in the Bahamas and I get to listen to all that pretty wave music. It's stress. There's stress all the time. Well, when your body goes into stress, it starts storing up calories. That's actually you've heard about the stress hormone cortisol. Well, it causes you to start taking on calories. It even extracts more energy from your food and puts it into fat because it's saying, hey, we're under some kind of attack here. We need to get ready for the winter. We need to take on fat. Well, you're fighting it right there. It's from the first one. So that's one of the first things we looked at. We're going to put in natural ingredients in our products that will help overcome that stress. Secondly, also somewhat stress related, is people's appetites. You know, these sugars, these refined carbohydrates, they're like a drug. And you eat a little bit and you want more. You know the saying, I bet you can't just eat one Lay's potato chip. Well, that's true. That combination of that starch and salt is like a drug, and you want another and another. So we also put something there to break that cycle that would cause you to not crave carbohydrates, which are sugars and starches. That's like breads and potato chips, rice, cereals, candy, dessert. It will calm that down. It will kind of break that cycle. So third is, well, how much do you just want to eat? We get back to stress. It's normal to want to eat when you're under stress, not because your body is trying to take on the extra carbs, which it is, but because it feels good. It's great to eat your favorite foods, and people start loading up on food. So that's the third one. We have put in here natural ingredients that should be in your diet anyhow that will help you with your appetite. And then we also took some of the Emulin technology and put in there so that it will help manage the sugars, get them where they need to go, keep the sugars from getting into fat tissue, causing them to go into your brain and your muscle tissue. So you'll feel more energy, you'll feel more alive, you'll want to get up off the couch, you will not want to eat so much, you won't have the cravings that you have, and you'll have all that sugar go to where it needs to go. Now, it's called 24/7 AM PM carb blocker, and that carb blocker is just a catchy name because a lot of people understand carb blocker is just keeping the sugars and starches from getting into your body, but that's really such a small part of what this 24/7 does. And it's called 24/7 because it works around the clock, AM and PM. So I just described to you what's in the AM, the daytime formula. It helps you with your appetite. It blocks the carbs. It keeps the sugars to go where they should be. It helps you with your appetite. It breaks that cycle. Then in addition to that, in the PM, we do have some melatonin in there to help you sleep, because just like I'm looking at this computer screen right now, it's 8 o'clock at night here. I should not be looking at lights and computers after 8, and every single one of us do it, right up until midnight. That destroys the melatonin in your body. And the melatonin is a natural compound that causes the deep sleep, the REM sleep. And without it, you do not sleep properly. And if you don't sleep, what happens? Stress, back to stress. And then your body takes on more calories. So we wanted to break that cycle. AM and PM. It manages carbs around the clock. It helps your body around the clock to manage those carbs. So that's what the difference between the two is. Everybody needs Emulin. It's a vitamin-like compound. 24/7 is not a vitamin-like compound. It's focused on helping you to manage your weight.
Fantastic. That's so true. I had a text today from a lady in the UK, and her husband didn't know that he wasn't supposed to take a bunch more of the PM, so he took 4. And she was worried that something would happen to him, and I said, no, he's just going to be really sleepy. And she said, yeah, actually he's out cold. So I think I think the melatonin is working really well. So she said, and I'm really jealous now. And I said, well, you could take 2 more too if you want to. But I said, no, I was just kidding. But
well, melatonin is just destroyed by light, by the way. So if you do want to wake somebody up, just turn the lights on. It's destroyed by blue-white light, kind that's in the sunshine. So that's a hint for everyone. When you get up in the morning, get as much bright light as you can, particularly if it's sunlight. That destroys the melatonin back to 0. And then all during the light part of the day, it's really down low. Then the sun sets and it starts building up. It really starts taking off at 9 p.m. And then at 2 a.m., it's at its peak. And that's usually when we have deep REM sleep. And then it slowly falls off a little bit. But when the daylight comes, it drops again dramatically. So we want to keep that cycle with us. And, even people that are traveling and have jet lag, that 24/7 will help you reset your clock. Just take it, the AM when you get up, expose yourself to light, and in the evening, around 9 o'clock or so, 9 or 10, take the PM. And you can, I split it up so you could take, just for your convenience, an AM in breakfast and an AM in lunch, and then a PM at dinner and a PM before you go to bed, a couple of hours before bed. You can take 2 of them at a time. You don't have to do that. You can take 2 in the morning at breakfast, and you can take 2 in the evening with dinner. That'll work just as fine.
Excellent. Oh, that's fascinating information, isn't it, everyone? The 24/7 is an amazing product. I mean, I just love it. I can't imagine not taking it now, especially with those side benefits that you didn't really count on, Dr. Ahrens, like all the skin tightening, skin smoothing, fine lines and wrinkles disappearing, cellulite disappearing. Wow, this is an amazing product. So
yes, I know. That's probably the number one comment we get is, well, I took it for weight and then I get all these wrinkles went away. Well, it's just because you were managing all the cellulite, the fat deposits in your body, and they don't clump up, and the elastin, the part of your skin that it gives it that spring, and it's shock absorber that rebuilds that elastin, and it makes very healthy skin. And yes, who knows, maybe Valentus in the future will have just a skin tightening product. So we'll see about that.
Great. We love that. That's perfect. So there is a question here about a little boy. He's 3 years old now, but he's been taking Metamucil. He's been given Metamucil. He's very constipated since he was 3 months old. Obviously, I think the Emulin would help him, but what is your recommendation there?
Yes, first of all, everyone needs it regardless. So then if you have a problem, your body will be in a much better condition to fight the problem. But also, in particular, it causes great health of the capillaries. And your gut is lined with fine capillaries. This is basically it's the little brains that they sense everything in your gut lining. They do all their part. They're responsible for all the nutrients going in and out, absorption. And if you get those capillaries, those little micro blood vessels in good flexible health, you want them permeable and flexible, then you'll find out that the whole gut health increases, and there will not be those types of issues. There will be at least, I'll guarantee you, at least less of them.
Excellent. That's really great. We all know that that's true. Anyone who has, is healthy and is taking Emulin, all of us have realized that when we go off it and it's out of our bloodstream, say after, 5 days to a week, we are craving it. We know that it has been doing something, even as a very healthy person. So, it's important. You have to, this is your new diet. It's part of your diet. You must have Emulin. So that's great. We have a question. If you're trying to conceive, does the 24/7 and Emulin interfere or affect the process?
Affect the what? I didn't hear the last word.
Affect the process of getting pregnant.
Oh, no. I will go back to particularly Emulin, that it will help with follicular development. That's the little cells on the ovaries that produce eggs. Again, it gets back to blood flow, less toxins in your blood, and your ovaries, uterus, everything. Think about the uterus. Man, that's even more rich than the intestines and these capillaries. It's just a thick layer of blood vessels. That will be so much healthier. And so I can say that the eggs will be much more viable, and there will be a greater chance of a healthy implantation.
Excellent. And we all know that the fetus needs that Emulin anyway to,
Yes.
avoid having all that carb and sugar overload as a little tiny growing human.
Yes, I think we believe that a lack of Emulin during a developing fetus is one of the reasons for type 1 diabetes.
Oh, goodness. That's not good. All right. So that's a great question answered. There's a lot of people asking for the caffeine-free version of 24/7. Is it on the horizon, Dr. Ahrens?
Well, it's on the horizon, that's for sure. The problem with all of that we're having in this is no one anticipated the demand. And
we did.
Your group absolutely did. And we made the 24/7. I mean, we ordered 25,000 bottles, and it just sold out in a heartbeat. And so I was telling people, well, the next run, we're going to make a caffeine-free version, which we can do. And we couldn't fill the factory. That we were filling it with a second order of 24/7, another order of 25,000 bottles. So I can tell you, yes, it is on the horizon. We're just trying to keep up with the demand of the regular 24/7 first, and then we'll slip that caffeine-free 24/7 in there. And we're also, I know I've talked to the powers that be today, and the pipelines for Emulin also are being filled up, and 4 times the amounts of Emulin we're manufacturing.
Amazing. So great. So we've been waiting for that good news. So Dr. Ahrens, there's another question here. It's really about a mastectomy. A woman had a mastectomy, but there is no chemo or radiation in her treatment. So that is a good thing. But I suggested she take 6 to 8 Emulin a day. What would be your suggestion?
Is a recent mastectomy?
I believe so.
Well, I know absolutely know that Emulin will cause a really good improvement on wound healing and will help with the new capillary and nerve structure. That's been shown even microscopically that in any type of surgery or cut or broken bone, actually the myristin in the Emulin, one of the parts of Emulin, causes the network of cells that make that bridge work that start to heal a person's body. That's also including with even organ transplants. So any type of surgery, any wound, which it's a big wound, it's a controlled wound, but nevertheless it's a wound that will heal much more rapidly with Emulin. Now I'll tell you, you talked about the irradiation. This is the only time that people should not take Emulin, and that is your Emulin will actually prevent sunburn. It fights radiation. It even protects the body and the cancer cells. It protects them from radiation. So when you're going to receive some type of radiation therapy, you should not take Emulin about a week before, and as soon as it's over, get right back on Emulin. That is the only time you should not consider taking Emulin.
Excellent. Yes, thank you for reminding us about that. To Tammy, she said she wanted to order 24/7 for a customer, but it didn't show up on the order page. Tammy, it's back ordered right now, and it's going to be a few weeks before we have it in the warehouse again. So that's why. Also, there's a really great testimony here from Eileen about a scar that she's had since she was 16, and it's hardly visible now since she started taking the 24/7. And we all know she's been on Emulin for a long time too. So this 24/7 is pretty amazing, and that's probably why it's sold out right now. We have someone asking about the exclusivity of Emulin. Emulin is exclusive to, as an MLM company, Valentus is the only company that can have the brand name Emulin, and that's what we know from that. Did you want to add anything to that, Dr. Ahrens, or is that good?
No, it's true. What you know is the formula Emulin and the name Emulin is exclusive to Valentus. And there are certainly people out there that are trying to say they have a new improved Emulin. Our patents are so strong, nobody has any new improved Emulin. If they did, I'd have it. So, right. You know, there's nothing like this. It just gives me almost the creeps every single day. I get an email from someone that some amazing result from Emulin. Little people, children, you know, they couldn't crawl, baby couldn't crawl good, and now his joints are working, all the way to people were in wheelchairs. They're 70 years old and they got out of a wheelchair the first time in 20 years. That's the real Emulin. And there are going to be copycats. Of course there are. Any good product, the best form of flattery is to copy you. It's going to happen. But if you see Emulin, and if anybody has a report that somebody's trying to sell a fake Emulin, let us know. But the Emulin is exclusive to Valentus.
Right. Okay, that's the Emulin name. You have other things that you deal with on a wholesale level with doctors and hospitals and whatnot that is different.
We sell some directly to doctors.
Yes.
But we do not sell this product anywhere like in this MLM business.
In a retail environment.
And
right.
we do not currently have any retail sales other than to doctors. It's a special case. No, we don't. You can only get Emulin. The public can only get Emulin through Valentus.
Yes. So Tammy's also asking if when we're talking about Emulin, should we assume you're talking about Emulin C? No, we're talking about both M and C. Can you explain that just a tiny bit, Dr. Ahrens, before we close out?
Emulin M and C are great products, and the only difference is that the C is more focused on blood sugar levels. They both will reduce inflammation and all of these good things you've heard, but the M is for most people. M for most, M for maintenance. Most people should be on M. If you are concerned about high blood sugar, well, Emulin C, C for control, will help you control your blood sugar. So that's the first question I say. What are your issues? You say, well, I've got high blood pressure. Okay, take the C. And if you don't, you say, oh no, I don't have any high blood sugar, then take the M. So when I say Emulin, they're both. So someone who's on M, they could take C, but I think you're going to have best results in controlling your blood sugars if you take the C.
Right. Thank you so much. So we have a bunch of other questions, but we can't get to them all tonight. So if anyone does have a specific question, remember that we're not talking about curing diseases here. So we're not entering into that area. If it is a pain-related issue or a disease, any of the itises, it's inflammation. So just remember, that's what Emulin's job is to handle inflammation. So thank you so much, Dr. Ahrens, and I hope you have a great evening. We respect your time here, and we will probably have a call next week, even though it's a Canadian holiday, because I know it's not in the rest of the world. So that's possible, but I will let you know. I'll keep you posted on that. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great evening, morning, wherever you are. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
You can all say goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
Night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, all. Thank you.